Ever stood in a grocery aisle, staring at a food label, wondering if you need a science degree to understand it? You're not alone. I spent years putting items in my cart without truly understanding what I was feeding my family, until one day when my doctor delivered news that changed everything. Have you ever picked up a packaged food item, flipped it over to read the nutrition facts, and felt completely overwhelmed by the tiny print and confusing percentages? For years, I did the same thing, grabbing whatever looked healthy based on the front of the package, trusting those bold claims of all natural or low fat without questioning what was really inside. I remember standing in my kitchen one evening, unpacking groceries after another rushed shopping trip. My doctor had just informed me that my cholesterol levels were dangerously high, and my blood pressure wasn't far behind. Pay attention to what you're eating, she had advised. But as I looked at the packages spread across my counter, I realized I didn't truly understand what was in any of them. That moment became my wake-up call. I decided to learn everything I could about food labels, and what I discovered shocked me. Those healthy foods I've been purchasing, many were packed with hidden sugars, concerning additives, and misleading health claims. The companies behind them weren't necessarily lying. They were just expertly navigating labeling laws to present their products in the most appealing light possible. Today, I want to share everything I've learned about decoding food labels, so you can make truly informed decisions. This isn't about following any specific diet. It's about understanding exactly what you're putting into your body. First, let's talk about the structure of a food label. In the United States, packaged foods are required to display standardized nutrition facts and ingredient lists. The nutrition facts panel tells you about calories, nutrients, and how the food fits into a 2,000-calorie daily diet. The ingredient list shows everything in the product, listed in descending order by weight. When examining a food label, start with a serving size. This is the foundation of everything else on the label. Companies often use unrealistically small serving sizes to make their nutritional numbers look better. I once bought a healthy cookie package that listed 120 calories per serving. It wasn't until I got home that I noticed each serving was half a cookie. Who eats half a cookie? Pay attention to how many servings are in the package, too. A small bag of chips might contain 2 or 3 servings, which means you need to multiply all the numbers if you plan to eat the entire bag. Next, look at the calorie count, but don't obsess over it. Calories tell you about energy content, not nutritional quality. A 100-calorie pack of cookies and a 100-calorie apple provide very different nutritional benefits. This is where examining the rest of the label becomes crucial. The nutrients section lists total fat, saturated fat, trans fat, cholesterol, sodium, total carbohydrates, dietary fiber, total sugars, added sugars, and protein. These are the numbers most people focus on, but they can be misleading without context. For example, total fat includes both healthy and unhealthy fats. Avocados, nuts, and olive oil contain healthy fats that benefit your heart and brain. The key is to limit saturated fats, found in animal products and some plant oils, and avoid trans fats completely. Even if a label says 0G trans fat, check the ingredient list for partially hydrogenated oils. Due to labeling loopholes, product can contain up to 0.5 G of trans fat per serving and still claim 0. Sodium is another tricky one. The American Heart Association recommends no more than 2,300 milligrams daily, with an ideal limit of 1,500 milligrams for most adults. But a single serving of canned soup can contain up to 900 milligrams. I was shocked to discover my favorite healthy frozen meals contain nearly half my daily sodium limit per serving. Understanding sugar labeling was a game changer for me. The FDA now requires companies to list both total sugars and added sugars. Total sugars include naturally occurring sugars, like those in fruit or milk, plus any added sweeteners. Added sugars are the ones to watch. The American Heart Association recommends limiting added sugars to 25 G daily for women and 36 G for men. But here's the catch. Manufacturers use over 60 different names for sugar in ingredient lists. Look for words ending in "-ose", like fructose or maltose, syrups, honey, concentrated fruit juices, and anything with sugar in the name. The ingredient list itself can be just as revealing as the nutrition facts. Ingredients are listed by weight, So whatever appears first makes up the largest portion of the product. If sugar, in any form, is among the first few ingredients, that's a red flag. The same goes for refined grains, oils, and salt. Be wary of ingredient lists that seem unnecessarily long or contain many chemicals you can't pronounce. While not all chemical-sounding ingredients are harmful, ascorbic acid is just vitamin C, a long list often indicates a highly processed food. Now, let's talk about those enticing claims on the front of packages, what I call the marketing zone. Terms like natural, made with real fruit, or whole grain sound healthy, but often don't mean what you think. Natural has no regulated definition for most foods. A product can be natural and still contain highly processed ingredients. Made with real fruit might mean there's a tiny amount of fruit concentrate among many other ingredients. And whole grain products may contain mostly refined flour with just enough whole grain to justify the claim. Low-fat or fat-free items typically compensate for flavor by adding sugar or salt. No added sugar. Products may still be high in natural sugars or use artificial sweeteners. And gluten-free doesn't automatically equal healthy. Many gluten-free products are more processed and contain more sugar than their conventional counterparts. One of the most deceptive tactics I've encountered is manipulating serving sizes to make products appear healthier. I remember buying a breakfast cereal labeled only 5 g of sugar per serving, only to discover the serving size was a mere quarter cup, about 4 spoonfuls. When I poured what any reasonable person would consider a normal bowl, I was consuming 4 times that amount of sugar. The same goes for calorie counts on seemingly single-serving packages. A 20-ounce bottle of soda might list 100 calories per serving, but contain 2.5 servings per bottle. That's 250 calories if you drink the whole thing, which most people do. Health symbols and certifications can also be confusing. Some, like the USDA Organic Seal, have strict standards and third-party verification. Others, like heart symbols created by food manufacturers, may have much looser criteria. The most valuable lesson I've learned is to focus on the ingredients rather than nutrition claims. A truly healthy food generally doesn't need to make health claims. Fresh vegetables don't come with packaging boasting about their nutritional benefits. I've adopted a simple rule. If I can't understand what's in a product or why each ingredient is there, I question whether I should be eating it. This doesn't mean eliminating all processed foods. That's unrealistic for most of us. It means making informed choices based on what's actually in the product, not what the marketing wants you to believe. My journey to understand food labels changed my shopping habits completely. I now spend most of my time in the perimeter of the grocery store, where fresh, unprocessed foods tend to be located. When I do buy packaged products, I take the time to read and understand the labels. The results speak for themselves. 6 months after changing how I shop and eat, my cholesterol dropped 40 points, my blood pressure normalized, and I lost 15 pounds without even trying. More importantly, I feel empowered rather than confused when making food choices. You don't need to become a nutrition expert overnight. Start with one food category, maybe breakfast cereals or salad dressings, and compare labels across brands. You'll quickly start noticing patterns and identifying better options. Each shopping trip becomes an opportunity to make slightly better choices than the last. Remember, food companies are businesses first. Their primary goal is to sell products, not improve your health. By learning to decode food labels, you take back control over your nutrition and health decisions. Have you had your own aha moment with food labels? What misleading packaging have you encountered? Click subscribe if you want more tips on navigating the grocery store maze, and comment below with your biggest food label surprise. Together, we can become smarter consumers who aren't fooled by clever marketing tactics.